Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and I'm sorry that it took so long to get it out, but obviously there's something that we have to talk about. These glasses. Yes, I abandoned my hood. Yes, there's going to be a new art style for the channel. No, I'm not taking them off. There's the door if you don't like it, and go fuck yourself. After seeing the trailer for the new Stormblood expansion, Bushido decided it was a good idea to show off the new job in its full glory, that being Samurai. So with the official, unofficial okay from Bushido himself, I've come down from a hibernation mountain to make this video on the new upcoming Samurai job. Because I know he was asking me in his presentation, just look at him! Firstly, I want to apologize for not uploading for a while. I've been transitioning from my crap internet to the internet I have now. I can do live streams, and I hope to do them every day or every other day. And if it's going to be YouTube or Twitch, I think it depends on you guys. I do want to transition over to Twitch for a better opportunity, and hopefully it'll have like a better way of doing streams, because YouTube is not the best, and I do hope to see some sort of profit from Twitch. Comes down to money. So the first question to ask is, what is a samurai? Samurai are warriors who existed back in the 12th century as provincial warriors to the first military dictatorship known as the shogunate in Japan. They served the daimyo by keeping up the authority of the shogun with an almost dominant grip on society. This ended in 1868 with the abolishment of the feudal system. However, even in modern Japan, there are samurai today who rose to elite ranks in politics and industrial areas, while keeping their traditional samurai code known as Bushido, or the Way of the Warrior, which is now made a basic code of conduct for much of Japanese society, Bushido being an emphasis on honor, discipline, and morality. To be specific, by the way, 1912 was when the moral code of Bushido had been put into action, although this did lead to imperial aggression in the 1930s, which also led to them entering World War II, which we all know how that ended. The interesting part is how many of the soldiers actually had antique katanas on them as they performed suicidal attacks, to which the Bushido principle of death before dishonor was the focal point of them carrying the weapon. All of the facts can be found on the internet quite easily, and in the descriptions down below. There is a brief summary on samurai and their history if you wish to educate yourself. I didn't even mention the Ronin, or Ronin, depending on how you want to pronounce that. I do suspect that 14 based their samurai off them, but I'm not totally sure. They were wandering warriors who had no master to call their own, much like the Dark Knights of old in the old times of medieval Europe. Final Fantasy has a samurai who are almost to the T, one for one what a samurai should be in terms of looks, personality, and for much of their attacks. As the first samurai was in Final Fantasy XV, obtained through the Earth Crystal, we see some similarities in this game that is very reflective throughout the series itself. Samurai all had their signature weapon being the katana, a rather hard-hitting weapon with high crit damage, but not only did they use katanas, but shields and heavy armor as well, depending on the game. Funny enough, the katana showed up in the very first game as a weapon that could be used by the warrior, thief, and red mage. The katana wasn't anyone's special weapon until 5, so it was kind of up in the air as a weapon that could be used. So with the samurai now being a thing in 5, 6 pushed this by giving the world a samurai of great properties. Cyan Garamando was an excellent samurai with great techniques to boot. He exemplified the great ability samurai had with great physical power and enhancing sword techniques. As samurai, you can build up power and dish out a shit ton of damage in no time. This reflects throughout the series with their ability to cripple enemies and dealing out powerful attacks. They usually have the ability to gill toss, which allows them to toss money and do damage according to how much money they threw. This is different in 10, where Yojimbo was basically the ability itself, with him doing damage according to how much gil you gave him for his efforts. Basically, you needed to be a rich motherfucker. And while we are talking about Final Fantasy X, Auron is basically the samurai job in a nutshell, wielding broadswords that are pretty much large katanas, using the skill Armor Break, and having the overdrive Bushido, which unlike Final Fantasy VI, is not a set of skills. And where you get to dress like a samurai in Final Fantasy X-2, where Yuna and company can use Bushido and other support skills, Auron still feels more genuine by a long shot. Now, my personal favorite within the series, next to Cyan himself, is the samurai in Final Fantasy XI. Now, I didn't make the job itself my main, and I wasn't by far the best at using it, but I did like the concept and how it was used. Samurai in 11 was no joke neither. You had a bunch of skills that when chained together can cause massive damage to the enemy. How you use these skills is by accumulating TP, which is the gauging force for all physical based skills in 11. These skills are called weapon skills, and the Great Katana in particular was an easy weapon to do a thing called skill chain. Skill chains are more complicated than you think, but an abridged explanation would be saying that two party members do a weapon skill in quick succession, which can cause additional effects to grant more damage. This allowed spellcasters to actually do elemental attacks that could lead up to something called a magic burst. But I won't spend all day on it, just know that samurai were really good at this. They were good at this because they built TP very fast, and their skills were very quick and easy to do. Also, I just want to say this, 11 Samurai was once made to be a tank, but sooner or later was seen as a physical damage dealing class. I am seeing a pattern here, Square Enix. You're doing the same damn thing in 14. Okay. But if you do want to know more, link in the descriptions. And finally, we are gonna talk about Final Fantasy 13. Oh wait, no, this is Lightning Return. This is a good one. Okay. So, Lightning Return has about 7 garbs relating to samurai in some way. Shining Prince, Art of War, Utsusemi, Suhei Savior, Dark Samurai, Shogun, and Flower of Battle. Dark Samurai looking much more to the traditional samurai, but Utsusemi being more of a ninja, even though Purple Lightning is supposed to be the ninja garb. I swear, this game makes much more sense once you play it for more than an hour. So we don't know much other than what we were given from the reveal, so bear in mind that most of this section is just a repeat of what we already know. But this section also holds an important key point for all of us here, the importance of anticipation, for with that, we can be ready for whatever is thrown at us. So the first thing I should talk about is the role. Like 11, the first thought of this class would have been tank, but as they went deeper into the job and had thoughts of other classes that will now go under a change when the new battle system comes to be, Yoshida and team thought it would be best to make it a DPS instead, so to refine the tank and healer classes to fit the new system. And don't worry, the other DPS jobs will get their changes as well, but the main focus was to make changes to the battle system to make it less boring and monotonous. The job will not have a base class like Astrologian, Dark Knight, and Machinist, and it will also be starting at level 50 instead of 30, which is quite a stretch. Though 30 is pretty high, it started the Heavensward jobs where you would upgrade your class anyway, so it wasn't really anything to mention. And to all those who are going to correct me in saying that it's not Astrologian, but Astrologian, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Bitch. Here, they start you out at a significant level, where at this point you would have a sharp grasp of your role and job for you to be confident in. This change to me is stretching it as I said, but I'm willing to take it as them saying, we're not gonna baby you if you're at this point in the story. Jesus Christ. Okay, as it shows here, they will be using the katana as their main weapon and will engage the enemies up close. It also shows that here, they may actually be very similar to their ninja counterparts. Dealing out damage using traditional Far Eastern swordplay, they will use a set of arts known as Sen. These arts have 3 types, Setsu, Getsu, and Ka. Much like the ninjas Ten, Chi, and Jin, the samurai will use these to combine and create unique skills that will affect how the battle will play. Though we don't know the skills that we have access to in Sin, maybe this video shows a little bit more than what we let on. And lastly, the use of the blade will allow the storing of energy to be unleashed upon your foes, drawing from the sheath as to make the power of the blade feel more brilliant. Much like the traditional style of swordplay known as Lai, samurai take much from traditions of real-life samurai and seem to have made itself into a more realistic class than any other within the 14 universe. This also allows me to finally answer my self-conflicting question as to which class I will level first. Though I still will level both Red Mage and Samurai, I will ultimately do Samurai first. I can't escape my love for sheer badassery, so when it comes right down to me live streaming this thing for the fucking hours I'm going to be on Stormblood, I'm gonna level Samurai first. I'm going to level the shit out of that thing, and I'm going to love it. And then Red Mage can come after. As to what job I'm going to be leveling throughout the story, it's going to be Dark Knight. But during that time, while I'm leveling Dark Knight and going through the story, I'm also going to level Samurai at the same time. I might as well do Red Mage, but Samurai does take priority. So, what do you think? Will you start with Red Mage or Samurai? How do you feel about its role, and is it to your liking? How do you feel about Yoshida's team doing the exact same thing they did to Samurai in Final Fantasy XI? This reeks of deja vu, but let me know in the comments below. So here we are at the end of the video where I'm talking off script and talking directly to you guys. What do you think of the new Samurai? It's awesome, right? Looks pretty fucking cool. Well, I think so at the very least. So, if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and check out my channel. And if you want to get updated on my stuff, make sure to hit that sub box. Also the bell next to that sub box because YouTube is stupid. Also, if you haven't heard, if I already talked about this, maybe at the beginning of the video, I will also be streaming like every other day, or maybe every day, not really sure, but I'm going to move this over to Twitch. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, there is the description down below. Go follow me over there, and I will see you soon.